Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Jamaica News in Review. Man killed by cops in St. Elizabeth wanted for murder. Police have confirmed that a man who was fatally shot during a tussle with two policemen in Stevens Run, near Nain in St. Elizabeth on Sunday, was wanted for the July 12 murder of Tyrone Morgan, otherwise called Lucas, in the same community. Police identified the wanted man as 25-year-old Twin Morrison, otherwise called Wasp, of Stevens Run address. Reports from the Junction Police are that about 3 p.m., lawmen responded to a call for assistance with a domestic dispute in Stevens Run, where it was alleged that Morrison assaulted relatives with an illegal firearm and made threats to kill them. During the process of taking him into custody, he resisted and reportedly attempted to disarm one of the lawmen. The police discharged their weapon and he was hit. He was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Both officers are receiving treatment for multiple injuries sustained during the altercation, including a broken wrist and several bite wounds inflicted by the now deceased. The Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM and the Inspectorate of Professional Standard Oversight Bureau IPROB are investigating. Morrison was also previously charged by the St. Elizabeth Police in connection with 3 robberies across the division. Police renew call on person of interest in Silkiana's death to turn himself in. After failing to turn himself in at the scheduled time of 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, the police again are urging Russian Patterson to take these steps with immediate effect. A senior lawman indicated that up to Sunday afternoon, Patterson, whom they believe can assist them greatly with their investigations into the death of 35-year-old Anika Thousand, had not turned himself in. Even though he has passed the request time, he still has an opportunity to turn himself in, the police disclosed about the situation that gained national attention. He explained that based on preliminary investigations, the deceased woman was last seen alive in the company of Patterson at a popular eatery in Hanover. Thousand, a popular social media influencer from Kingston, is said to have traveled to Montego Bay earlier in the week, where she met with Patterson. She was, however, found on Friday morning face down in the sea at Reading, just outside Montego Bay. It is suspected that she was strangled, although there has been no confirmation from the police. The lawman, while quick to the point out of Patterson is just wanted for questioning at present, explained that Patterson is no stranger to the police given his history. He was charged for a double murder, an attempted murder, abduction, rape, so he's somebody that has been on the police radar, the cop explained. He is no stranger to the police, he emphasized. He further explained that despite the charges, Patterson was only convicted for wounding with intent, a charge that had been scaled down from attempted murder and was given a suspense sentence. For the other charges, it is said that he got off on technicalities, but has remained on the police radar. His name has been called with incidents of criminal nature in Hanover and also in St. Andrew. However, in this particular case, the gruesome finding of Thousand decomposing body, the police were able to seize a car belonging to Patterson and have not been able to locate him. Thousand is known on the party scene and is believed to have traveled to the western end of the island to engage in such an event when her life ended abruptly. Despite being found on Friday, October 21st, she was eventually identified by family members on Saturday, October 22nd, which led to the widespread lamentation and anguish, especially on social media where she was a fixture. Education Ministry assures unpaid teachers their salaries are coming. More than 1,000 teachers who have not been paid since September are being assured that they'll receive their salaries before the end of today. That assurance comes from the Ministry of Education. However, the ministry says some will see their salaries reflecting in their accounts in the next 24 hours due to the different financial institutions. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Maureen Dyer, explained that there was an integral glitch in the ministry's system.
The file for Region 7 was uploaded to the wrong category in the Accountant General portal. So we had to reconcile this morning. By 10:30 this morning, we detected the error and we discovered that it was sent to the fortnightly payment category rather than the monthly payment category, which is where it should have gone. They gave instructions to the DOJ now for the payment. What they assured us is that by 8 p.m. Tonight, the payment should start being reflected in the account, in the teacher's salary account. What it's going to do is to help us to cut down on the manual nature of things in the system. We're really excited about this. We're currently digitizing files and uploading personal data for all our employees in our schools. And once that is done and we have the system totally connected, then we anticipate greater ease of transfer of data from out in our regions, out in our rural schools and so on, right into the central ministry.
The teachers who weren't paid remain anonymous, say they've barely been surviving. One of them said the situation is embarrassing as she lives heavily in debt, while other teachers did not hold back how they felt and the situations they are faced.
I've not been paid since September. I'm a teacher. This morning, court bailiff was at my door. I've not been able to fulfill my financial obligations. Last week, I got a letter from the NHT. My mortgage is overdue. I am not able to make ends meet in this situation. It is very disheartening, distressing, draining. This is madness. This is foolishness because some teachers are on the verge now of having their vehicles repossessed. They're in debt. I am in debt. I am in severe financial crisis right now. Over limit fees, accumulating interest, late fees. I keep borrowing money. I've been borrowing money for 2 months now, and I cannot continue like this.
There's no word, there's no message, there's absolutely nothing that indicates to us that there's going to be a delay. Nothing happened. But this is a cycle where I'm in debt, out of debt, in debt, out of debt, in debt. So I had to sacrifice my self-interest for the entire month of October this month to go to school with no lunch. At some point in school, I was so weak, tried to teach and I couldn't even teach. I have to sit down because of the hunger I'm feeling at the time.
Tufton acknowledges resistant bacteria killed babies at Victoria Jubilee month after problems started. A severe shortage of nurses could have led to an outbreak of resistant bacteria that reportedly killed a number of babies at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston during the summer, according to the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton. While the minister has confirmed that babies have died, he is disputing that dozens died, as reported by Nationwide Wednesday evening. The insinuation that somehow dozens of babies have died is not the information that I have, but every death is regrettable, and so it is not an excuse. We have the problem, and we have some challenges in dealing with it, but we are dealing with it, Tufton told reporters. He also revealed that the ratio of nurses to babies in the neonatal intensive care unit should be 1 nurse to 2 babies. However, with Jamaica plagued by a severe nurse shortages due to the high number of nurses migrating each year, Tufton said, we're now at a 1 nurse to 7 babies and sometimes more. And it does create a challenge for infection prevention and control, Tufton added. Deaths were reportedly recorded in June, July, and August, but the public was kept in the dark. A whistleblower reportedly saw that both healthy and sick babies were affected. Additionally, it has been reported that mothers who have returned to the hospital for postnatal checks-up are being affected by the resistant bacteria. The situation was blamed on a breakdown in infection controls at Victoria Jubilee. Despite their best effort, the staff was unable to bring the situation under control, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness sought the assistance of the Pan American Health Organization (PAHO). Reports are that the Bustamante Hospital for Children may also have been affected by the bacteria, and the PAHO team visited the facility as well. The Health Ministry said that they have been accused of attempting to cover up the problem, which is only being made public several months after the breakout started. Church sister gets into spirit over fierce-looking Oberlin schoolgirls. A church sister has detailed her encounter with an Oberlin high school student after a bizarre fainting incident involving students at the West Royal St. Andrew School on Wednesday morning. Scores of students began acting abnormally, with many of them fainting during prayers at the school's daily morning devotion. The incident resulted in the early dismissal of classes for the day. Iselin Black, a member of the Greater Workers Apostolic House of Praise, said while members were gathered at a prayer service for the students immediately after the incident, a special request for prayer was made for one particular schoolgirl. The girl was looking so fierce, she was reacting in a manner that is not of herself, Black said. She said she started praying for the child after being told to do so by the Spirit of God. After I did what the Spirit said I must do again, she fell to the ground, Black said before getting in spirit and speaking in tongues. Black shared the details with journalists. Family conflict linked to student brawl at Green Trail High, says Williams. Education Minister Favor Williams has confirmed that the brawl involving female students at the Green Trail High School in Westmoreland was a spillover from a conflict between their families. Williams said that the four students were separated by staff or from the same community. A 30-second video of the incident surfaced on social media platforms on Tuesday. It is not clear when the incident occurred. A report revealed that the students are from the same community and that their families were allegedly presently at odds with each other. It is also alleged that a simple disagreement started the fight, Williams said during Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing. She said that all of the country approach must be taken in addressing the long-standing issue. Last week, the Minister of Education launched its Just Makes It campaign to end violence in schools. She told the post-cabinet press conference that the USEF 2018 situation analysis has informed the government that approximately 80% or 300,000 Jamaican children experience some form of psychosocial or physical violence administered as discipline. It said approximately 60% or 240,000 students are bullied at school, while 79% or 296,000 witness violence in their home or community. What we are witnessing in our schools is not normal. It is as a result of major psychosocial issues which include family members' depression, anxiety, substance abuse, sexual abuse and violence, she said. So if we are not convinced before, we are now, and we have to treat with the emotion and psychosocial well-being of our children and their families in a more focused and concentrated way, said Williams. Poor road conditions in Trelawny spark protests. Irritated motorists block a section of the Falmouth to Springvale Main Road on Trelawny to protest the deplorable condition of the thoroughfare. Protests started as early as 5 a.m. on Wednesday. The roadblock created a nightmare for commuters, including students, traveling as far as Wakefield to Falmouth. Demonstrators used power saws to down trees they used to barricade a section of the road. Members of the Fire Brigade and the Jamaica Constabulary Force had their hands full in assisting to clear the roadway. Prime Minister Andrew Holness commits to accelerating the pace of the St. Thomas leg of the ship. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he'll work to speed up road works being undertaken for the St. Thomas leg of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. Holness says he understands the concern raised by residents of the parish.
I know that the people in St. Thomas are very understanding of the challenges that the government would face in trying to undertake some of the massive infrastructure work that we are doing. First, I want to say to you that I follow all the protests and demonstrations, all the quarrels and all the complaints that are placed on social media and in traditional media. And I have been driving around in St. Thomas now for more than 3 hours, and I can understand. In fact, I do understand why people would be upset and why fatigue would set in. I am of the view that the South Coast Road Improvement Project could move much faster than it is now. And therefore, I am going to be looking on the logistics and management arrangements to ensure that it moves much more quickly than it is presently doing. But one thing you can be certain of is that when it is complete, nobody can say that St. Thomas is a forgotten parish. You will have probably the best network of main roads going through your parish. You will have the most modern and advanced town centre, in addition to other investments that are to come, not just from the government, but from the private sector. There is a significant increase in interest in St. Thomas for tourism, particularly business process outsourcing. And you've always had this industry, the quarrying and mining, and people are now taking a serious look at how they can deploy capital in St. Thomas. So your parish is set for a boom to come in the next 5 years. You're going to see that unfold.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the